Hello guys, welcome to Easy Web Dev. Today we will learn what event delegation is by making this cool image slider using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So in this image slider there are 5 dots which represent their respective images. Means the first dot will represent first image, the second dot will represent second image, the third dot will represent third image, and fourth dot will represent fourth image, and fifth dot will represent fifth image. So without further ado, let's get started. So as you can see, there is a boilerplate already there in which I have linked my style.css and also linked my script.js. And in style.css I have reset all my basic styles and script.js is empty. Now I will create a div and give it a class of main, and inside this div I will create another div and I will give it a class of buttons, and here I will create my first button and give it a data attribute of data box attribute and copy it 5 times. So first button will contain 1, second button will have data box property of 2, third button will have data property of 3, fourth button will have data property of 4, and fifth button will have data property of 5. Now I will create another div and give it a class of container, and inside this container class I will create another div and give it a class of hero. Now I am going to copy this div 4 times, so there will be 5 hero div. Now I will open it using live server. So as you can see, there are 5 dots at the top left corner which are our buttons. Now I will name all these divs in which I have image 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, so that all will represent different 5 images. Now in style.css I will grab my body and give it a width of 100 view width and give it a height of 100 view height. Now I will grab my main class and give it a width of 100%, and then I will give it a height of 100% so that it will cover my whole viewport. Now I am going to grab my hero class and give it a width of 100 view width VW. And also I will give it a height of 100%. Now I am going to give it a display of grid and place item center so that any content inside the hero will come to the center both horizontally and vertically. Now I am going to grab my container class and give it a width of 100% and height of 100%. and then I will give it a display of flex so that all cards will arrange side by side. Now I will give it a font size of 5 rem so that we can see the different cards. Now I am going to grab each hero class by using hero.endChild and give it a value of 1, 2, 3 and 4 for all 5. And I will give it a custom property CLR and give all of them a different color. So for first I will give it a color of yellow. For second I will give it a color of orange. For third I will give it a color custom property of pink. For fourth I will give it a color custom property of light blue. And for fifth I will give it a color custom property of light green. And now in hero class I will give it a background color and use the these color variable. So as you can see all have got their respective colors. As you can see each card is taking equal spaces and all are displaying in a view width because in my container I have given the width of 100%. Now I will give it a width of max width so the container width become the maximum of all 5 cards. So as you can see in now they have taken whole view width. So now I am going to give the overflow of hidden so that to get rid of the scroll bars. Now we can see that buttons are taking extra spaces. So I will grab my button class and give it a position of fixed and give it a top of 1% so that all button will be fixed at a top of 1% at 1% from top. And for left I will calculate its distance from the left side and give it a 50% minus 58 pixels. So as you can see all buttons will come at the center. Now I will give them a z index of 1 so that it will be above all our context. Now I will grab a button tag and give it the width of 200 pixel and for making it square I will give it the height of 20 pixel. Now I will give it a border radius of 50% so that all button will become circular. Also I will reset its outline to none so that there will be no outline. And I will give it a background color of white. Now I am going to make a custom class and name it active and give it a background color of gray. And this custom class we will use for these buttons, so that whenever we click on this button it will become active. It will change its color, which show that this button is active. Now I will give my all button a cursor of pointer, so whenever we hover over it, the cursor will become pointer. Now comes the JavaScript part. Now I will give it a const of container and query select the container class and save it in a const variable. Also I will grab all my buttons and give it a document.query selector and all my grab my buttons class. Now I will grab all my hero cards by using document.query selector all dot hero and save it in a heroes variable. Now I will define a state and give it a name of active button. So I will let active button equal to 1 because we have to change this active button later. So I will save it in a let variable. So now I will add event listener of click to my buttons and uh, give it a callback and provide it a argument of e. Now I will show you console log how this work by console logging e.target. I will open my developer tool by using right click inspect. And in console we can see whenever we click on the button we will see only that button in which on which we are clicking. So you can see fourth button will 4 and fifth button will show 5th. So these button contains data box attribute. For grabbing this data box attribute we will give e.target.dataset and dot box. Whichever name we have given after data, it will store with that name only. So now as we click on the buttons, it will show the respective button number. Now I'm going to see what is the type of that number, and we will see that it is all strings, but we have to convert it into a number. So what I'm going to do, so I will use parse int to pass this string into integer and I will save it in a active button, so that whenever we click on the button the active button gets the same number. Now I am going to console log active button to show you what it will represent. So clicking first button will give 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So as we can see these all are working fine. Now I am going to grab all the children of the button, which is button itself, and as we click we see that we got a HTML collection with all the children button. So HTML collection are not iterable. So to make it iterable, I have to convert it into array. So to convert it into array, I will use spread operator. So convert I will use spread operator by using btns dot children, and I will save it in a children variable. So now as we can see, these have become the iterable. So now when we click on it, we can see that it has converted into arrays. So now I will do children dot for each and give it a callback in which there are two arguments. First is the respective button and second is their index. Now I am going to slide my container by giving it a container dot style dot transform, and in backticks I will give translate x, and now I will give a dollar sign, and now I will give it a minus dollar sign curly braces, and now I can dynamically place any variable here, and I will give it a view width of minus 100 pixel plus active button plus active button minus 1. So now whenever we click on their respective button, it will slide and we will see the respective image, and we will see the respective card. So now to make it smoothly go from left to right or right to left, I will give it a transition of all and give it a time of 0.5 second. So now when we click, it will smoothly translate. And inside this for each, I am going to give it a if check statement that if active button minus 1 is triple equal to index, and I will wrap this active button minus 1 in a brackets. Then if this is true, I will add the class list in button, and I will add a class of active, else I will remove this class. So button dot class list dot remove active class. So now we are seeing that when we click on the button, the active class of gray will applied on it. But by default, no active class is there since it is 1. So I will go to my HTML and I will give the class of active to my first element, so that whenever the page refreshes, the first one will get the active class. So now you have seen that we have made this image slider using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. And also if you are new to my channel, please subscribe my channel. We will see you in next video. Bye.